Hi everybody, it's Pam, Silver and Sparkles. We are here today with the weekly library card challenge. So this is the one where I just decorate a library card or we alter a library card, and I hope you will join in. If you do, make sure you use the hashtag weekly library card so we can hopefully find each other's projects. So I was gifted a bunch of library cards by a lovely lady named Charlene, and that prompted me to decide to start this challenge. So I don't know, we've done, I think this one was with this one. So 1, 2, 3, is this the 4th week maybe? I don't know. This is the one that I played with before I got on camera, and we're going to make something similar today. So this one is has a flip. So it opens up, and then I installed a little pocket right there. And I just think it's darling. It has a vintage button, some ribbon. It certainly, you could, if you wanted to, put a little Velcro dot if you didn't want that to flip open. But I think this will look cute in a pocket in a journal, as a card. You could put a little gift card in there. So many things you could do with that, right? The others, if you haven't seen the other weeks, these are some of the ones that I've made. I've made others since then, but these are the ones that I think I've made on camera. I can't remember, but there we go. I hope you will join me. If you're just tuning in and you don't have any library cards, I do have a couple of freebies on my Buy Me a Coffee site with some library card images, and you can print them different sizes, some of the dividers. And then I also have one with some of the pockets. I introduced to that, I believe, last week. Maybe this is week 3. I can't remember, guys. Everything starts running together sometimes, but I know I'm having fun. The one with the pockets also has some backing papers if you need that. So I'll link my Buy Me a Coffee site in the description of the video so you can find it if you want to. I put all my library cards up and I didn't grab any to decorate. You just get a stack and we'll see how we do today. So I was looking through things that I have already printed, and I was trying to use some of that and use some of my scraps, and I came across some pockets. I love these big butterflies. This is from my Layers of Spring junk journal kit that's available on Etsy. And then I also had these, and this is from my new kit, Meadow Blooms, I believe. So a lot of times, I just look at the pocket as the traditional way of using it. But then I started looking at that pretty butterfly, and I thought, I want to do something with that. But this shape pocket, or any pocket or piece of paper, will work for this. So I just decided to use some things I already had printed. So I'm going to show you how I did it. And then you can decide. If you don't have a pocket, just a piece of paper, you can make this little simple fold over and flip open. So I am going to use my little date stamp, and I'm filming these the weekend before it's going to go live on Monday, and Monday's date is June 30th. Today's date is the 28th. I'm going to date this one today, the 28th, just because I want to have it the day that I made it, and then this one will be the date of the video, I guess. Didn't really think about it when I was doing it. So I always have to really look at this thing and play with it. I think I want to use it on this side like I did the other one. I have figured out if I roll it a little bit. I got that on Amazon. If anybody wants one of those fun little date stamps like they have, or they used to anyway, have at the library. All right, so I'm going to show you how I did it. Let's do it. Well, let's do the butterfly, and then I'll fold one of these as well. So it's not exactly the right size, correct? If you were to score it as the pocket was designed. So this is how I did it, and it worked easily for me, is I went ahead and scored at the bottom where the pocket would fold up, right? And then I put my little card in. It doesn't matter yet which way you put it in, but kind of just centered it. And then I just folded it over. Just like that. Easy peasy. Folded it over, just like that. And then I looked at my butterfly image and decided, and this one I kind of like, I think I'm going to make it open this direction. Flip it this way. And then I just decided to do a torn edge. So I just tore it right on down. And this is a little bit more bulk than I want, where it's going to fold up at the bottom. So I am going to give it another little trim. And I think it'll make sense here in just a second. I'm not going to glue it yet because I'm going to do one more thing, but I will kind of show you. Oh, and I tore this off too. I don't know why I'm folding that up. I tore this off, and once I had it folded, it did a pretty good tear. All right. So it was just this one section, right? Yeah. That I kept. Now, if you don't want it to look that, I don't know what the word is, that straight, you can do, I realized I tore it that as well. So here we go. I'm just tearing along. Okay, just like that. And it's going to be attached, of course, by this piece. If you don't like torn edges, you can just trim it. You can use your scissors. Again, whatever makes you happy that you like. Now, before I glue it together, I do want to cover this portion with some paper. So again, I just have some scraps out. You could leave it white. You could also print it on both sides. So we could cover it with some book page. We could, again, use a scrap. This is part of the page that I covered this one with. I'm trying to see what else I pulled out. This is a piece of a decoupaged book page that I covered with some napkin. That's kind of pretty with the pinks, isn't it? I don't think it's too thick. Let's do it. All right, I like this torn edge right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just add glue to this section and then lay that down, and then we'll cut and tear it off where we need to. Now this is quite a bit thicker than the page I used on the other one, so hopefully we're going to be okay when I go to try to tear it. All right, this is, I did multiple layers of book page, it looks like, and those are coming up. So again, this was just in my scraps from when I was making something with this a while back. All right, I actually don't even, if I don't get it torn the best, it'll be okay because I like the color of this book page. So now I'm just going to cut out, I left the kind of scalloped, or whatever we call this, top that was on the pocket, the fancy top. And I'm gonna leave a little bit of this here intentionally. Just gonna finger tear this all the way down so it looks nice and scrappy. Put some ink on this side. Oh, that's pretty. All right. So, I mean, how easy, right? But then it starts to give the card a whole nother look. I am going to go ahead and ink my library card. And I'm using the Tim Holtz Distress ink in tea dye today. I've been going back and forth between my tea dye and my walnut stain. My favorites. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. Glad you're here. If you're a returning viewer, thank you. You guys are awesome. I'm gonna add glue right here and stick it down. If you like the challenge and you want to let me know, please give the video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. If you're playing along, let me know that too. I'm trying to catch everyone's posts and say hi and those types of things. If I miss, it's not intentional. You know, drop me a message or, you know, tag me so that I can find you. All right. Let's see. So sweet. I just love these butterflies. Now, I am going to go ahead and make a pocket and a little tag or something, and then we'll do some type of button on here when we're done. I think that's so pretty. Okay, what do I want to use? Now, the page that these pockets were on had this strip, and I may use a portion of it this time to make a pocket. Let me think. I think I'm going to. All right. I used just a little bit of a scrap that I had last time, but I think I will like having this. Okay, these are 3x5 library cards. So I'm going to cut a portion of this strip. Let me see where it would be if I went to like 2 3/4. So just get a tiny bit of the blue from the wing of that butterfly. Let's do that. And I am going to go ahead and cut this straight. Here, we'll just have a little pocket. I like it. Very simple, just a rectangle that we'll leave open at the top and glue on 3 sides. Oops. Pam got a little crazy. I'm going to bring it up so that we'll see a touch of it. This one we saw a little bit more, but we don't see it at the bottom. And then we do have to, whatever we put in here has to be narrow because that's not a very deep pocket. I'm going to go, let's see what 3 3/4 looks like. Was trying, yeah, that's okay. I didn't want to completely cover up my little date stamp there, but again, a very simple tag. And I do have something to show you guys. And I had shown you the sari silk ribbon in the brighter colors the other day, and this is the bundle that's the muted colors. Whew. I love the other ones. They are gorgeous and I will use them, but these are definitely, to me, a little more vintagey in my vibe. And of course, you never know what you're going to get, right? So I'll probably have to, I'm going to make myself use these first, but then maybe get a new bundle and see. But how pretty. Anyway, if you're interested, they are on Amazon. They're in my Amazon storefront. And someone said they'd been really looking at them and couldn't decide. And I said I would make sure I showed I think they might even call them doll. The shop is, they come from India, the saris. And I believe the shop owners, you know, English obviously is not their first language, and that's great. You know, that's fine. But we wouldn't normally, I think, use the adjective doll. But to me, because those are beautiful colors to me, but I think that's what they're called in the shop. Way too much of an explanation for that, right? All right, I am going to grab my stickers. And I think I used one of these last time. I'm wondering if I stay in this pink theme. I think one of these would be pretty. And I obviously just go for it, right? I don't even worry about if I have another one started. Okay, that is not where I was going to put that sticker, but it touched the paper, so we're going to go with it. And then hopefully I can use a little piece. I think I'm going to use, I have it already. Oh, wonder where I put it. Well, darn. I thought I had a piece. Here, is this it? There it is. Of, from this strip that I took out. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. Gorgeous. And I'll just use that on the top of this one. I will probably, though, cut it. I've been cutting these so they're not quite so wide. All right. And I said I don't tear them that often, but I think on the video that I recorded earlier, I did, and it did okay. So sometimes, you know, it just depends on how brave I'm feeling at the time. All right, I'm just gonna staple it on. You can certainly punch a hole. Very sweet, very sweet. Okay, let's do a button. So at the secondhand craft store, like I needed more buttons. I couldn't help myself. And some of these still have the string in there. And I love that. I don't always leave it there, but I love it when I have a few that come that way. So these were all some neutral colors. Oh, there was one that had a little bit of a pink tint. I just lost it. All right, I'm just going to pick one. Just pick one for us to play with today and not make a mess. Aren't they beautiful? And I have quite a few collections and jars like that sitting on one of the shelves here in my craft room, and it makes me very happy. Now, what I did for the prototype is I used some of this really skinny gold thread, and you don't even need a needle. I can pull it through, and of course this, I say that and my thread starts to fray. This one has 4 holes, which is fine, but I'll just go through it 4 times. Bring it back up, and we will tie a cute little bow. And then that isn't really how I meant to do that, but we'll see how it looks. All right. That was wasteful, but okay. Yeah. We'll just do the bow. It'll be cute. Like it, and I'll turn the button in such a way that like the bow's either the top or the bottom. All right, it does make it easier when you use a lot of thread, like I did, to tie the cute little tiny bow because you have a whole lot more to grab a hold of when you're working. Now, this thread, if you, I always put a little dot of glue on here, and I try not to mess with it until it dries because it will untie, and I don't want it to. So this one, it's already dry, and so if you pull on the ends, I'm not going to really pull, it won't untie. All right, I think I'm going to put this one right here to kind of cover up where I tore that tag. It'd also be just cute there. We'll put it down here, and I'm going to use my hot glue for this. So a little dab will do ya, and just put it down. Okay, now when that glue dries, it will be clear and you won't see it. So how simple. And then you have a little flap on your library card. Real quick, I'm gonna put one on this library card as well, using this shape pocket, and we'll see what it looks like. So again, I am going to, and really it's just I need to tear it. I didn't really need to fold it. When I initially started playing with these, I was thinking about installing the pocket as a pocket, but I really didn't want, I decided I didn't want to do that. Okay, so this one, I'm just gonna line it up where I think it'll look good. You can also bring it all the way to the bottom if you want to, but it's gonna be a flip. Just gonna line it up and just fold them over so I know where I want to tear. So this is going to flip the same way as the one we just made. And then I'm going to do another finger tear. Of course, I could save these and use it kind of like, just like little bow strips of washi tape or something. Little paper decorations for later. I have really enjoyed seeing some of the library cards y'all have made. My new design team, some of those members last week joined in too, and that was super fun. So it's exciting. Okay, I want to line this. Let's line this one with some book page. This looks like a piece from my vintage lace book, which, you know, really suits me because I love vintage lace and ribbons, don't I? All right, I'm just doing that. And then we will, again, we'll glue here and then I'll cut it out. And again, the challenge is to just, you know, do at least one library card a week. And for some of us, you know, if you get to in a rut or you just haven't had time to be in your craft room or to be creative, sometimes having a challenge, I think having something like this where you really can spend just a few minutes and have something really cute, can kind of help with that. I will also say that's part of what my 15-minute, you know, weekly challenge is about as well, is that sometimes I have to remind myself I don't have to have a huge chunk of time to craft. So again, I hope if this appeals to you in some way, you'll think about it. And if you don't have library cards and you don't have a printer, because there's the freebies, just cut a piece of cardstock, a piece of scrapbook paper, and just, you know, approximately the size of a library card. That would be great too. So, you know, try not to hold yourself back just because you might not have the exact supplies. I've also found that when I see a challenge and I want to try it and I just go ahead and just use what I have, sometimes I'm even happier with what has been created. Okay, I think on this one, I am going to, I was trying to decide if I'm going to use this side, and I think I do. I think I'm going to grab a piece of this paper I was talking about and decorate the top where there's a little more white space for fun. Just see what happens. All right, I haven't glued this down yet, so I still have some options. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna, again, just stamp it with today's date, because I kind of like that, knowing when I look back, I'll know when I was, or at least approximately, because I stamped that one ahead of time. Okay. This one would be cute, as this being the pocket itself, but I want it to flip open. Stay with your plan, Pam. And the other thing is, on the back of these, we have lots of space if you want to write a note, journaling, whatever. It's pretty. Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, what do I want to do in here? Do I want another pocket? Do I want to just leave it for some journaling space? I might. I am thinking that I wouldn't mind something here. Let's pull out my little folder and see if there's anything that we might like to use. Let's see. I don't know. It's not really the right colors. Not that it matters. I can be eclectic. That may be, it's a little too tall. Let me just see real quick. I've been a little lazy lately when I have extras. They're kind of piling up in a little box instead of getting put in my doodad folders. So I need to take a minute and put some more things, that's the one I'm going to use, in the doodad folder. Because it doesn't help to have doodad folders if you don't keep your doodads in the folder, right? I know. Wisdom from Pam on this, when you're watching this on this Monday. Okay, or whenever you happen to be watching it. All right, a little extra ink. We'll make that look great. And I'm just gonna put a little flower there. A little surprise. And again, I'm gonna skip the pocket this time. And that way I have space to write here. It's a little private, and then here. So fun. Oh, a button. Let's do a button. Why not? And then I will let you go. So, a button for the bird. Let's see. Sometimes you just got to spread your buttons out and see what you have. Maybe I'll use one of these that has the fabulous thread. The terrific thread. Ooh, look at this one. There's so much color to that one. If you love buttons like I do, this is like just so much fun. I wanted one a little bit, just a little bit bigger than the ones I'm seeing with the string in them. Ooh, that has, oh wow, that's not that vintagey, but it's got the blue color and some sparkles. Maybe we need to use that. You know, I can't resist a sparkle sometimes as well. All right, so this will have a little different vibe. All right, Harry and Matt are barking. I think my husband ran to the hardware store and I asked him, I said, oh, what are you shopping for? And it was something very complex, like 2 bolts and I don't know, some kind of filter or something. And I was like, okay, then you enjoy and have fun. All right, instead of using the gold thread, I'm going to use this twine because the little sparkles in here have a little silver color. Not that I can't mix gold and silver, but I'm just going to go with this. All right. And again, I cut it long enough so that hopefully, especially when I'm here on camera, I don't make it too hard for myself. Okay. I think I'm going to be able to make the bow work. Very sweet. Okay, I'm going to leave the strings long for now. And I'm going to put it right here where I tore his tail off. So we can pretend his tail did not get left behind and is just under this button. And again, I'm going to do that little drop of glue and then let that dry. And it takes it a while to dry. You can see looking at this one, but it's worth it to me not to worry about the little bow coming untied. Okay, well, I had fun. I hope you did. And I hope to see you next time as well. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending some time with me. You guys are awesome. Have a great day, everybody.